So last week we made somen. We made somen with dipping sauce with some other bits to garnish. And this week we're doing somen with grated cucumber sauce. So it's all one dish. It's no dipping, it's all made together. First thing that I want to do is make the bowl really cold. So our bowl is cooling in ice water. As much of your ingredients cold as possible. This is a really, really lovely dish for summer. So I'm going to start by chopping the shiso. We're going to chop it into squares. So this is the bud of ginger. If you imagine the ginger growing underground, there's a stem, and this grows on top of the stem. It's called myoga in Japanese. And we're just going to chop it as finely as possible. Now this is Mitsuba. It's one of my favorite herbs, and it doesn't taste like anything Western. If you don't have access, omit it. For this, we actually only want the stems, but the leaves, reserve them and use them in something else. They make great garnish for hot noodles. And then we've got some spring onions. We just want to make these as long as possible and fine. So we've just used the green part of it, and then that's going to be our garnish mix. We're just going to add an ice cube to this, maybe two, three. Three is a good number. If anyone hasn't realized, 3 and 8 are the only two numbers that need to exist. So now we've got some ginger that I didn't show you at the start. Surprise! So just peeled the ginger, and then we're going to slice this into as close to brunoise as we can. This doesn't have to be perfect, by the way. It just needs to be approximately the same size as the sesame seeds. If that means you just chop through after you've cut it into fairly small pieces, it'll work. Really important that you get Cassie's grater, but if you can't do that, anything else will work. We're just grating some wasabi. I don't know why, but I feel like wasabi is really summery. It's hot, but it's fresh. It's just something that I like to eat, especially when it's hot weather. I like a bit more wasabi and things. And then with the cucumber, take the top off it, and then the skin around where the cucumber grows from is quite bitter, so I'm just going to remove that. And I also think it's nice if we just remove a tiny bit more of the skin, just because it gives a bit of a better texture. We still want a little bit of the flavour of the skin though, so we are really not cutting that much off it. You could use a peeler and peel every second interval, and it would be a lot easier. Now cut the cucumber in half, because the seeds are quite a funky taste that I don't particularly like. So now we're going to grate the cucumber. It'd be a lot easier on a bigger grater. We're just going to drain some of the water off the cucumber because it's very, very watery. Do that over the sink because it's easier. And then we're going to start making the sauce. So we've got some quite strong dashi. A little bit of Evan's favourite thing in the world. Drop of mirin. Literally a drop of soy sauce. We're going to actually use a little bit of salt in this as well. The soy sauce will really darken the colour too much, so we don't want to use too much at all. Now we're going to go in with some sesame seeds. I like it with quite a lot of sesame seeds. Let's go wasabi. A lot of wasabi, and then we've strained off the water from the shiso and ginger. Going in with the shiso and ginger. A little bit more salt, make sure your food is seasoned. Always clean up as you go, and then you don't have to afterwards. Brilliant. I'm also going to add a drop of vinegar, straight from the bottle, sorry Evan. Just that little touch of acidity will freshen it up. I would probably use something like sudachi, which is a Japanese citrus generally, but it's not, the flavor profile is not relatively close to anything that we can get here. It looks a little bit like a lime, but the taste is not like a lime. These noodles we've cooked already, but last week we cooked noodles here. And what I'm going to do is, I just want to cool down the mixture a little bit, like living life dangerously, it's okay. Now I'm going to go in with somen. Have a little taste of the grape juice on the side. Yeah, delicious. Place the noodles in the bottom of the bowl, and then any remaining sauce, pour that over the top. We're going to finally drain the garnish vegetables. That's my cucumber and cold somen noodles done.